Puppies all think they're going to get fed again, but they've already been fed. Amy's just like buzzing around. Amy, wait, show your face. There we go. That's the 3 puppies we have living here. We're going to feed the horses now. And then we're going to go down and show you how we plant our lettuces. So here's a bit of cuteness for the morning. This is old Nancy. She's really old now. She's actually got some cancers and things going on, unfortunately. So that's a bit sad for her, but she's pretty healthy. She gets some herbs and things to help. She is quite old too, so obviously we're not going down the road of chemo or any of that sort of stuff. So she's happy at the moment. And yeah, so she's was my guide dog in her younger days, and she's now 13-year-old. Then we have little Amy, who's a new dog. She's an ex-breeder, Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. And she's learning all about what it's like to be a house dog, a pet. And I think she's pretty happy about it. She's 6 years old now, so the same age nearly as Zara. Zara's 7. And Zara is a dog that came from a rescue centre originally. And she was a real nervous wreck, and we were worried about everyone that's coming in and going and things, and now she's really happy. She's been with us for now 4 years, or 5 years actually. So she's, yeah, really settled in and turned into a very happy, calm young lady, or older lady now. So there you go. That's our puppy dogs, isn't it, Zara? Is that our puppy dogs? She's Mummy's girl, Miss Zara. Amy's daddy's girl, and Nancy's anybody's. This is Shandy having her lucerne this morning. I just gave her. And she's due to give birth within the next couple of weeks. She needs her feet done too. And she's a Shetland Cross miniature. So yeah, and she's in foal to an Appaloosa miniature, so it'll be interesting to see what we get when she gives birth. Yes, Shandy. So that's Shandy, and she's actually not supposed to be in foal, but she decided she wanted to be, so she got in with the stallion one night, and that was the end of that. And it tends to be more of a health risk to stop them from having foals, especially when they're used to it. I've found, in my experience anyway, others might have different opinions, but I find it more detrimental to actually have them abort their foals than it is to let them just have them anyway, because she's a little bit older, but she's looking healthy and everything's on track. She's had foals before, obviously, so we're not too concerned about this one. It's just one of those things where she decided she wanted one, so I guess we're going to have to let her have it, but we're hoping that she can't get out again and get herself back in foal. We don't have a stallion here at the moment anyway, but if we do in the future, we think we've fixed the problem now. So yeah, it's just one of those things when you've got new properties and, you know, fences aren't finished or whatever. And she's telling off the young colt over there, which we'll go and have a look in a minute. This is Cavalli. He's only a baby at the moment. He doesn't have much top line because he was basically starved, whether it was due to lack of knowledge or lack of care by someone who bought him off the stud owner who actually bought him back. So anyway, he's here now, and he's put on quite a lot of weight, and we're just getting the last of his top line up, and then he will be healthy again. But he's 18 months old roughly, and yeah, still very young, and living in here with Shandy at the moment, and he'll probably go out at some point, and yeah, we might have to rescue our little gelding to go with him. I'm sure Brad will be really happy about that. Anyway, that's little Cavalli. And we'll go and feed the mares now and introduce you to them and the other colt I have that's actually sold. But yeah, he's still here until the truck can pick him up because he's actually going up north. This is the other colt I was talking about, Robbie. He's actually been sold. I did breed him with plans to show him, but unfortunately, due to an accident where I broke my pelvis and my ribs and my back, my spine, I fractured my spine as well. I can't take the risk of riding anymore because that fracture is unstable, and I kind of like walking, so I don't really want to break my spinal cord and not be able to walk. So unfortunately, I have gotten rid of all the big horses now, as far as like not minis, and now Robbie is a spunky little fella and he's for sale. He's a Welsh bee, purebred Welsh bee, and yeah, so he's for sale now. Well, was for sale and he's been sold and the truck's coming to pick him up. But yeah, he's having some lucerne hay this morning. He doesn't always get lucerne, but I decided to be nice to him today and give him a bit of nice feed. He normally just gets Rhodes grass, but yeah, we give him lucerne every so often just to give him something different. And then of course he gets fed. You can see his hind end is higher than his front end. He's just having a growth spurt at the moment, and he's shaking his head around. He's just being a, you know, having a bit of attitude, being a bit of a colt. But yeah, he's going to be he's actually going to be a breeding stallion for a stud up north. So yeah, he's going to mature nicely. He's going through that ugly stage. Those of you who know horses, they tend to go through that ugly stage as youngsters. He's 18 months old, so he's sort of going through that stage now, and he probably will do until he hits about 2-year-old. And then he's starting to fill out now actually as well, but he'll fill out even more and muscle up and really look like a nice horse then. And yeah, he's a pretty boy, that's for sure. So he'd want to be, because I do breed with good bloodlines and try to breed them well. And his mum was a national champion, and so was his dad, and his dad's also an import from the UK and did quite well over there. So yeah, he's got good bloodlines in him, and I think he'll make a really nice breeding stallion for these people. And yeah, hopefully they'll keep us up to date and let us know how he's doing, and they're going to show him first, I imagine, and then breed him a bit like what we do here with our stock. But yeah, I'm going to minis now because of that accident. So anyway, we'll go and feed the mares now and introduce you to them, just because it's fun, you know. We have Sandy, she's a Cremello, and Dolly, who's a Overo Pinto. And then down here is actually Cavalli's mum, Caramel. They're all having their hay. I gave them lucerne today because you can see she just needs her top line now. She's put on heaps of weight as well, and very shiny, even though the sun's sort of not really doing it, you know, not really showing that today, but she is. Hey, you lot! Goodness me! Bit of herd antics there. That's okay, that's just how horses are. Caramel, go and get yours up the top there. Atta girl. No, Dolly's going to get that one. You come back down here then. Poor Caramel getting picked on. So there you go, there's some herd antics going on there. And yeah, so Sandy and Dolly are both in foal as well, but they're not due until spring because we actually put them in foal. They didn't get in with the stallion like Shandy did, but Shandy's, yeah, she's a real, likes her stallions. And there's Miss Caramel, and she won't be put in foal until 12 months. Give her a good break and let her build herself back up again, and then we'll see where we're at from there. Here we have some hay bales that went off because you can't feed horses mouldy hay makes them very sick. So we had some hay that went mouldy, and a friend of ours had some hay that went mouldy as well, so we went and got some bales from her. And these are really good instant garden beds. Just plop them down. I leave the twine on them to hold them together a bit. There's this one, and then there's that one that I've planted previously. And then you put some dirt in the hole, so it's got some dirt to grow in while the hay rots down, and it will sort of turn to dirt if you like. And then we'll put the plant in where the dirt is, and then we're planted. So this will rot down over the winter and over the spring as well a bit, and it will actually sort of halve in height. They're turned up on their sides. Some people lay them down as well, which I do as well for different plants, but I find that the lettuce looks good up high and it's nice and easy to access. So I'm going to plant some lettuce in this hole here, and then I'm going to plant the rest of this bale, dig some more holes and put some dirt in it, and then put the plant in it. And the rotting of the loosened hay will give them the nutrients they need to grow, and the nitrogen as well that they need, especially for leafy plants like lettuce. I've got some mustard too that's going to go in the other bale. Broccoli and cauliflower tend to do pretty well in these as well. All those sort of winter things that we're going to plant, some mizuna and things like that, will do really well in these bales. So I'll get planting, and then I'll show you what that looks like when there's a new seedling in there. So these seedlings I started in seed tray from seed, and now they're ready to go into the ground. I've got my bucket of dirt here, and my seedlings, they're ready to go in the ground. So that's what I'm doing today with the hay that our horses can't eat. So everything, well, we try and use everything. The twine that gets reused as well to tie things up, like tomatoes to stakes and things like that, because I don't particularly like plastic, but it comes with the hay, so we're going to use it until we can't use it anymore. And yeah, then we dispose of it. But it lasts about 2 years out in the weather, and it lasts for a long time out of the weather, and we use it to tie our horses up. We use it to make halters and lead ropes and things as well. So yeah, it's quite useful material. And the hay that our horses eat then goes through their digestive system, and we use it as a fertilizer on our trees and our veggie gardens and everything. We feed it to the worms as well. We've got a worm farm. And the hay that they can't eat, like this, that's mouldy, that's gone off, we then use as hay bales, and that then adds nutrients to this food forest, because you can see behind there is a baby pear tree. There's watermelons in the ground there. I don't know if you can see that because the hay bale's kind of in the way, but there's watermelon vines there. There's a watermelon there I can see in the camera, and another baby pear tree over that side. So we've still got some summer stuff growing, or spring summer stuff growing as well, because we haven't had our first frost yet. But this loosened hay will add a lot of nutrients to this ground. It's quite nutrient dense anyway, because we've piled stuff on top of the original dirt, like I've showed you in previous videos. So it's quite nice soil anyway, but this will add a lot of nutrients with the hay being here as well. So we did get some pears this year, but I picked them off because we don't want them to fruit yet. They're only young. I want them to concentrate on developing roots and branches. So we took the fruit off them, but next year is the second year of fruiting, and we might let them keep some fruit if they put on a good amount of strengthening growth, if you like. But I'm not going to let these trees get any higher than a bit over a metre and a half probably is about the height that I will top them at, and then that will be it for these pear trees. So yeah, just a bit of I might even do maybe if we get dormant before Shed Wars is over, or even if it is over, I might show you how I prune my trees. Everyone sort of has their way of doing it. I prune from the inside out rather than the outside in, like a lot of people do. And the pears, I do top them, even though not a lot of people do. I find that I don't want to be reaching all the way up and the last pear tree I had coped really well with that and started to put out a lateral branch as its central leader, so it was fine with being topped where I wanted it to be. So there you go, that's the video for today, guys. And my tip, I guess, for this whole video is like to kind of keep as much as you can on your property. So like I was saying with the hay, we can't feed this hay. I was feeding this same type of hay, this listen hay, this morning, but we can't feed this particular stuff because it started to go moldy, and moldy hay makes the horses sick. But we're not going to throw it out, we're going to use it. And we also use what comes out the other end of the horse as well as fertilizer, so it doesn't leave the property either. So I guess just completing that circle and find ways to reuse things and repurpose them. Even the twine of this, when this hay rots down, will be used to tie up tomato plants and things like that. Or it could be used to make a halter or a lead rope or whatever. You can make rope out of it. You can actually make fence, like temporary fencing out of it. You can do lots of things with twine. So yeah, reuse everything, and I'll see you in the next video.